Welcome back. I did not expect this to turn out being a part three, right? But I must say, this is quite a long conversation, and I do a lot of talking as well. So here goes part three. Let's keep it going.
You said you couldn't learn anything from it.
That's just a nice.
What'd your mother learn from your father?
Oh, well, a lot. My dad's. He's. I can't. I can't honestly tell you specifics, but how to be a wife, and a best friend, and I just know my dad is very, very smart. He's a provider. He's. I mean.
You got any siblings?
I have.
Do you guys notice how when he asked a specific question, what did your mom learn from your father, right? They're married. What did you see? What did you think about them being married? Did you guys notice how it just becomes such a mumble jumble? And I said this before, that this is someone who had great leadership or the example, but chooses not to follow, right? These are the types of people who are going to look down on people who came before them because they think, yeah, whatever, you're doing it, but I'm going to do it better. I don't even see what you guys are doing. I don't care, right? It's just mumble jumble. And that is the problem that I think, unfortunately, a lot of people have done. I've done it for sure, that we just live with each other day to day, your parents, your siblings, but most of the time we're not really keying in, we're not really aware, we're not really observing the people that we're with on a daily basis, the people that we grew up with, even our friends, right? We just take it for granted. Yes, there was this time you got to know them, like talking about friends, not parents in this sense, but at some point you're just not as aware anymore, right? Because you took it for granted, and that is not the right way to go about life.
I have two sisters.
Are they married?
One is married and one is engaged. And this is her, I don't know, third engagement.
Dragging your sister under the bus as well.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I don't find this. I think it's kind of sad that so many of our sisters are so damn complex and difficult to wed, and difficult to keep. In the Black community, the divorce rate is approaching towards 60%, and 80% of divorces are filed by women. So I'm going to say you're the least married, but I'm going to go also say you're the most engaged. You're the most engaged. I don't meet another group of women who've been engaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Right? It is not uncommon to meet a Black woman who's 40 years old and been engaged at least a couple times. It's very common. And I'm talking about full out engagement. Man drops. That's not cool. Because at the end of the day, you're not getting the outcome you want. Because your life is supposed to mean something. And at 38 years old, what's your life going to mean if you go through it by yourself until the grave?
I have a plan for when I become 40, around 44, 45, to adopt two children, older children. That is.
So you're going to be what's your life going to mean if you go through it by yourself until the grave?
I have a plan for when I become 40, around 44, 45, to adopt two children, older children. That is.
So you're going to be a single parent?
Yes, probably.
So you're going to purposely go in to do the one thing that you know gives children statistically the worst outcome.
My dog is snoring. I'm sorry.
How many kids you got?
I don't have children.
But you said your dog is snoring.
Snoring. Yeah, I can hear her. I don't know if you.
Okay, well that makes sense. See, her husband is the building. You think your godfather's crazy? Do you have a PhD?
No, a master's.
Master's, okay.
I'm a PhD.
Ma'am, you're an attractive woman. You have beautiful eyes, but come on, ma'am. You gotta know that your non-Black female counterparts are not this difficult.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. And both of them. Oh, let me not say well.
That's one thing that I will give her credits for, that she's not sitting here saying, oh, that is not true and this is not true, and like trying to excuse it, because at the end of the day, this is her life. This is exactly the outcome. You've been telling yourself you have it all, okay, but do you really have it all? Because all the things that you've accomplished, none of it was what you really, really, truly desired, right? This is nothing that's going to give you fulfillment long term. And I've talked about fulfillment, happiness on my platform, maybe on Spotify, but whatever. I've talked about this, and people need to be really aware about what is your real purpose, what is the thing that really gives you drive, what is the thing that is worth living for, and what is the other thing that your emotions are just kind of twisted around because it gives you a quick nice feeling today, and or it gives you a high or whatever, right? Be aware of those things. And unfortunately for her, she is an attractive woman. She's healthy, she's smart, she did whatever degree that she chose to do, right? She has a job, probably she has a car, she comes from a good family. But yet what she actually would have carried up in life to say, yes, this is what I want, she's kind of missing out on it. She already missed out on it, if you want to be very honest, right? Who am I to say this? I'm not God, right? Everything can still happen for her, right? But we're not going with the exceptions. We're seeing what is happening. We're seeing the truth in front of us. I've made bad choices, been lying to myself, I've been holding all these superficial things up high, and at the end you just wasted your own time. This is where I'm going to come in, right? Because this is not about, oh, she doesn't have a man, or the man, or what kind of man. No, this is about understanding at the end it is your life, right? And you've been playing and entertaining men that you never wanted. What was the outcome for you? Did yourself the biggest dishonor ever.
Both of your sisters?
No, I was gonna say both of my line sisters are married.
A Delta?
No, I'm not a Delta.
Okay, AKA?
No.
Sigma Gamma Rho?
Yes, why? Why ask me that?
Because you said your line sister's name before.
I know, yes. I'm a Sigma
So
Gamma.
my point is, ma'am, that when you're a little girl, I don't think you likely thought, I'll be a dog mom adopting 2 kids at 45. And that'll be the testament of my life.
Yes, he said it. Yes, this is actually what I was trying to put out there, right? And this is what the new idea of how we should be going about life has been sold to us for decades. This We all knew that most girls, most women, right? We all had this idea of, oh, I want to have a family at some point, or I want to be with someone at some point. Maybe not as extreme like that you had it planned out, whatever, but definitely you did not think, I want to go through life being some kind of combated boss chick that no one gets along with, and I want to be living with 2 dogs. And this is like, come on now. That was definitely not the dream.
No,
Why is that good enough now? Why is that what you're willing to settle for? See, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna move you to the side. Move you to the side, ladies. Why are you? You always talk about what man you ain't willing to settle for. I ain't gonna settle. I ain't gonna settle. Why are you willing to settle for death by yourself, ladies? Why are you willing to settle for dying alone? Why? 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 You're the only group of women on the planet who is
Wow, this is so deep. Let's take a pause on this one. This is so deep. Why are you willing to settle for death on your own, a life on your own, the struggles on your own? Why are you willing to settle for not experiencing life, good, bad, whatever, with someone, right? Instead, you're willing to actually accept you've already settled, you've already signed up to say, this is what I'm going to do, be on my own, struggle on my own, support system it's going to be some institution. You don't really have anyone who's going to be there for you. You're not thinking ahead. You have your dogs. That's the life, right? Working until you're retired. Hopefully, you're going to get by because most people are not just going to wake up suddenly being old and being super, wealthy. This is a tiny circle of people who really actually focused on planning for retirement, who are going to enjoy retirement. And even then, you're not even sure because things are getting more and more expensive. But let's take away the money part, right? You really want to go through life on your own. Your parents are not going to be there at some point. Your siblings are going to have their own life, be it that they're alone or whatever. Your friends are going to have their own life. Life is going to change in so many ways. And you are already signing up to do this on your own because no man out there is not good. No one is good enough for you, right? You've put yourself up on that pedestal that you want them to put you on. And even if they did, it's never going to be enough. And no one asked themselves, is it really those people out there? Or is it maybe you? Because this is like math, right? There's so many variables coming in, but it seems to be that it's only you who's not changing, right? You are the common denominator, and you are the one who's not realized that either you're making bad choices by picking, right, entertaining all these people that you're willing to get engaged by just to drop them, or you need to work on yourself. Or maybe you're the one that people are actually settling for. I'm sorry, let's say it for real.
Willing to be strong, independent. I don't need no man because I ain't gonna settle, but you'll settle for dying alone. Write it down, trademark it. See, I'm gonna say something to you. Let me move you to the side. Move you to the side. Ladies, why are you always talk about what man you ain't willing to settle for? I ain't gonna settle, I ain't gonna settle. Why are you willing to settle for death by yourself? Ladies, why are you willing to settle for dying alone? Why? Why? You're the only group of women on the planet who is willing to be strong, independent. I don't need no man because I ain't gonna settle, but you'll settle for die.
Yes, I cannot stretch this enough, right? The strong and independent woman is a scam. Yes, you will find other women buying into this as well, especially now, right? Everyone that they just changed the name to make it more suitable for everyone to be so quick to join in. But it is a scam. It really just puts you in a position not choosing to do things on your own, but literally having to do everything on your own. At some point, when things really get tough, you're signing up to really do it on your own. And I know for a fact that there's so many things that I'm not willing to do. I am not willing to do. I cannot do. I'm not even strong enough to do certain things. So come on now. It's a scam.
Dying alone. Write it down, trademark it.
Can I say one thing?
Sure, go ahead. We're back to you now.
Oh,
Go ahead. That was an aside. Go ahead.
People who have, I'm just being on, I'm not making this up. People who have dated me, and or my friends and people, my friends who are in relationships, and they're always like, "You are so cool," and the guys that I date, "You are so cool. You make me laugh. You're this. You're that." Blah blah blah. And it's like after they date me, they go to an ex or somebody else, and then it's like they get married to that person.
I mean, the fact that you need to bring that up, that actually I'm such a good person, and actually I'm so cool, and actually I'm so fun, but your outcome is not proving that. Come on, don't bring that up. It's like if a job would be saying, I mean, yeah, we do get great reviews and people keep coming, but they never stay. It's like after 2 months, they just leave the company. I mean, they told us it's nice here and we have the air conditioning going, but I mean, you guys are not paying well. You guys don't offer any breaks. You guys are maybe mean or whatnot. Like make it make sense. If you're claiming to be so good and so great and whatnot, and those people who are telling you this, okay, sometimes I know people are very sweet and kind, and in the sense that they want to sugarcoat you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But I think it's good to surround yourself with also some people who are going to tell you the truth for what it is, right? No. And putting this back on this show of Mr. Kevin Samuels, I find it very interesting when people would really watch the show or and claim for him to be such a mean person and so against women. But I don't see that, because this is someone, like if you would equate this to, like, let's say an older uncle in your family, or maybe your grandfather or your dad, who knows? And this is the way a man would talk to you who wants the best for you, who's harsh truth, right? Like especially when you've not been listening. We've told you once, we've showed you the picture, we've showed you the clip, we've showed you so many examples, you just don't want to listen. This is the way the tone is going to come across, but that does not mean that person doesn't care for you, right? The things that they're saying is much more important for you to listen to, instead of trying to nitpick the tone of it, right? So
yeah, because nobody wants to marry a cool chick. They want to marry a wife.
What makes me not a wife?
Well, first off, you're extremely picky. So you probably rank rather low in agreeableness.
I am very agreeable.
Okay.
And I know a man's role in a relationship.
Okay.
I do believe.
If I ask the guys, have you ever interviewed your exes?
Interviewed them?
Yes.
I've asked, because I'm cool with my exes.
Okay. What is it like to be with you then?
Wait a second. I think I skipped something. I'm sorry, guys.
Sure, go ahead. We're back to you now.
Oh,
Go ahead. That
I
was an aside. Go ahead.
people who have. I'm just being on. I'm not making this up.
Hmm?
People who have dated me, and or my friends and people, my friends who are in relationships, and they're always like, "You are so cool," and the guys that I date, "You are so cool. You make me laugh. You're this. You're that." Blah
Uh-huh.
blah blah. And it's like after they date me, they go to an ex or somebody else, and then it's like they get married to that person.
Yeah, because nobody wants to marry the cool chick. They want to marry a wife.
What makes me not?
Now I know what I skipped. I skipped this very important part when he said no one wants to get with the cool chick. They want the wife. I'm gonna talk on this on the end. I hope I don't miss it. And I'm gonna say this. We all know the same effect with, the cool guy in high school, right? That everyone admires in that moment because he draws all the attention, is not always the same person that people want to go for later on in life. And I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So let's keep it moving.
Not a wife.
Well, first off, you're extremely picky. So you probably rank rather low in agreeableness.
I am very agreeable.
Okay.
And I know a man's role in a relationship.
Okay.
I do believe.
If I ask the guys, have you ever interviewed your exes?
Interviewed them?
Yes.
I've asked because I'm cool with my exes.
Okay. What is it like to be with you then?
I'm cool. Fun. It's fun.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like a bro. Cool and fun. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe she's nervous or she cannot like think about something else, or just maybe that's the way in her mind to put herself in the best, put the best foot forward in describing herself. I don't know. But to be honest, married or not, I would just say relationship, right? Those are not things that would come to my mind. Like cool and fun is not necessarily something you want to hold on to long term, especially let's say the person you are with is looking for a wife. You want to be a wife, and that person also looking for, someone who's going to nurture the children. You want to be a mother as well. All these things have to make sense. It's cool to be cool. It's fun to be fun. But I hope you guys understand, right?
So a guy that so if I interviewed your first ex fiance, he would tell me being with you is what?
My first ex fiance, he would say being with me was amazing, and
right until you dumped him.
He would still say that.
Okay, and then the second guy would say being with you is what?
Fun. And
okay, then the guy you made wait 90 days. How long were you guys together?
There's been more than one, but the last one, probably no more than a year.
You were with a guy for a year.
What?
Okay, and why did you leave that relationship?
It was kind of a waste.
Okay, a waste meaning what? A waste meaning what? A waste meaning what? Your purpose in life is to. This is gonna be tough, man. But at 38 years old, you're doing something in the youth facility or youth what?
My job?
Yeah, your yes.
I'm in education right now.
Okay, you're in education, so it's not like you're solving the Riemann hypothesis. Why does a man need to be all these great and wonderful things other than a man?
Because I'm all these great and wonderful things.
Bullshit.
Wow, so far you just said cool and fun, right? Which is not a bad thing, guys, don't get me wrong, but you yourself, like, in no sense did you even want to describe yourself in any kind of way that would be looked at as, wow, this is such a great person, this is above the average. As I said, it's fun to be fun, it's cool to be cool. But, even the attitude that just came out right now, remember how she said, I am so agreeable and I know what a man wants and all that stuff. We all know that because we all hear it all the time. It's so easy. It's the same thing when you would hear women say, "Yeah, cooking and cleaning," right? Um, okay, but you do that for yourself anyways, right? All these things, and now you're gonna see the true face. Let's go.
I am.
No, you're not. You're a normal, average, everyday woman. See, that's the problem. So many women pedestalizing. No, man. Where'd you go to college?
HBCU Lemoyne on College.
Okay, what makes you great and wonderful and in the top 1% of all women?
I am not in the top percent of.
So that means so you're great and wonderful and all these things. What in your life makes you say that you're that?
I do believe I'm a great person.
It doesn't mean you're not. You can be a good person, but when I say it's so great and wonderful and everything else, go back to that cherry on top, and that's how you think of yourself, and that's why it's difficult for women like yourself.
Yeah, it's a self-inflated ego, and that is an issue. And this is not to pinpoint on this woman or judge her. This is, as I said, I hope there's so much to learn out of this. We all can work on that. If you catch yourself, or if you know you have this, and even though you think you're already quite good, yet take your time and reflect on, maybe this is something I can work on. We sometimes do put ourselves on pedestals, right? Thinking we're the top notch above and the above everyone, right? And that has nothing to do with you not being a good person, but it's okay to kind of tune it down a bit, right?
Yourself to be with a man because you always need to be above a man, and the men who are above you won't deal with you.
I don't.
Because we don't have time for that kind of shit. Honestly, we don't.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
Well,
saying.
the thing is, ma'am, and see, this is the.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Look, the man, as he said, the men above you, then the ones you actually want, and with above, please, people don't get this wrong, okay? Those men are not going to entertain you because they can already see through the nonsense, right? Even if you actually could be in that circles, because men are not necessarily looking to date a woman because of her career or what she makes in terms of income, right? Of course it's nice to have an smart woman and all that good stuff. I hope you guys are not thinking men are looking for someone who's just stupid. But at the end of the day, you're just not fitting in that circle because you're not choosing to actually work on yourself and actually figure out what does it take. No, you rather go through life over decades with a self-inflicted ego, right? And the only kind of men you can play that on are men who allow it, which are the ones who are like, okay, I'm going to entertain this, or I am exactly on her level, or I'm maybe slightly above below her level, whatever, right? And those ones are the one you can step on, but not realizing you're just wasting your own time, because these are not the men you actually wanted, because otherwise you would have went through with the engagement. So you're picking men that you don't really care for, so you can, for a month or a year or whatnot, think you're better than he's going to do this and that for you, put you slightly on that pedestal, how you feel comfortable. And then when you're not willing anymore, you're just going to drop him, not realizing that you're just doing yourself like a disfavor. Is that even how to say it? You're just not benefiting from it.
Kind of arrogance and entitlement. We this is what men think of it. The full of yourselfness that so many. All the ladies independent. I mean, that stuff in our culture has the women thinking they're better than the men, smarter than the men, above the men. But you're the most.
Yes, and I at first I didn't want to talk about this, but I mean everyone can look into whatever they feel like if they don't trust, you know. But even when it comes to this comparison or this statement that black women in the US are the most educated, people really need to look into it. Who is the other group that they're comparing it to? And this is not to say that black women in the States are not educated, right? Please don't get this wrong. But it is something that has been used to feed into the scam of independency. And if you look into the degrees and what people are choosing, if you look into the long-term outcome that is filled and covered with debt, and most of them not even working in those fields that they chose, and some of the fields not even being, I don't want to say meaningful more or less, but all these things come to play. So I don't know. And even if you look into the vast majority of women nowadays, right, if you really dive into the things that we're choosing as so-called careers, right, most of them don't even pay off in that sense.
Most unmarried, most engaged, most enrolled, and ain't nobody marrying black women. Nobody. Brad, Leah, Meg, Keith, and Enrique, they were like, how can you even deal with this? Because at the end of the day, are you a Christian? I don't know if you are or not. I didn't ask.
I'm a Christian.
Huh?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay, then if you're a Christian, a woman's purpose on the planet is a man. Your job is to be a helpmeet. Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply. That's the commandment. See, we're the most Christian, unchristian people. If black women actually acted like the Christians they say they are, a lot of this stuff would self-correct, because a lot of stuff you're talking about has no humility in it. You couldn't say I'm great and wonderful and all this if you really truly had an accurate estimation of your Christian self. But we don't say that. We don't say it in the pulpit because the pastor got to keep the tithes and offerings coming. Men have been shouted down in the community so much, or even, I mean, you said you've had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity with men. You've had an embarrassment of opportunities and relationships.
Yeah, she was even making fun of it, like almost 3 times, got engaged almost 3 times. Haha. Like,
and no man is good enough.
I just would rather be alone than miserable with someone, because some of my
you see, this is what I mean. There's some people you're never gonna be able to save, and it is okay. Get yourself some coffee, guys. There's some people, right? You can sit there. This conversation is about 30 minutes. Okay, probably longer because I don't know if he actually did some editing beforehand. Who knows? But the thing is, there are people, they're going to sit in front of you, listen, nod, engage, whatnot. Yet, all you've been telling them, all the conversation you both had back and forth is just going to blow all over their head. They're going to sit there with a straight face and still say the same nonsense that they started off speaking. Because why? That's what they truly want, right? So, as I said, she's a great example for whoever out there. You can take it or leave it. That is just the reality of things. I say this so many times. I like saying this because it fits to myself as well, right? We all have the joy to make our own choices, right? Sometimes life makes choices for your own. What I mean by that is just the external circumstances or influences that comes with it. Some things you are not going to be able to control, but a lot of things you are able to control. And whatever you choose to do, right, you will face the outcome.
friends or whatever
Let's
who
actually
who
let
are
her
in
say that again.
But we don't say that. We don't say it in the pulpit because the pastor got to keep the tithes and offerings coming. Men have been shouted down in the community so much, or even, I mean, you said you've had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity with men. You've had an embarrassment of opportunities and relationships, and no man is good enough.
I just would rather be alone than miserable with someone, because some of my friends or whatever who are in relationships, I see the ugly side of it.
I'd rather die alone than settle.
What has this to do with some of your friends? The excuse is even really bad. What has this to do with some of your friends, but yet these so-called some of your friends are still in this relationship, right? They meet with you on a coffee date or brunch, and they do their girls talk, and they do the fun complain, and they go back home to their family or their boyfriend or their husband. And this is what you want to use as an example. Some people would sit in front of you, you're talking about them and their life, right? And how they can change something. They would come up with an example of a movie that they saw, some series. Like, you know what, guys? I hope you enjoyed. I hope there's something to learn, right? At the end of the day, this is not only referring to the Black community, this is a general um, thing that is happening. I did not find any better word, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So I hope you guys had fun. See you in the next one. Bye.